Get this, they're not those that respond quickly to change and new opportunities. In other words, the people that win in this kind of environment are not those that respond quickly to change and new opportunities. They are those that create the changes and new opportunities. They are the ones that are proactive, not reactive. They are the ones that are leaders, not followers. They are the ones that are making things happen, not waiting for it to happen. We call those people change-ready people. And change-ready people and change-ready organization, they're challenging the status quo, the way it's always been done. You know, what I call the sacred cow thinking. And at the same time, they're looking for bold, innovative, out-of-the-box, new ideas, new opportunities, and new possibilities. So in essence, what change-ready people and organizations are doing is they're always rethinking the rules of the game, redefining their role with the customer, and they're always seeking to reinvent the game. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Dr. Robert Kriegel has been called one of the country's leading authorities in the field of change and performance. He's a New York Times best-selling author, If It Ain't Broke, Break It, and Sacred Cows Make the Best Burgers, which made Business Week's bestseller list. Bob's latest book on innovation and out-of-the-box thinking is How to Succeed in Business Without Working So Damn Hard. Dr. Kriegel is a commentator on NPR's Marketplace program, has done 2 PBS specials. His online training program, Creating Change and Innovation, was rated best in its class. A former All-American athlete and ESPN commentator, Kriegel is a pioneer in the field of sports psychology who has coached both Olympic and professional teams. Ski Magazine said his book, Inner Skiing, set skiing ahead 10 years. Dr. Kriegel has taught at Stanford's Executive Management program and was an advertising executive at Young & Rubicam for major accounts. One of the most in-demand business speakers, Dr. Kriegel has given presentations to companies and associations around the world.
What I see all over is the most common response to change, to new challenges, and to new opportunities is ba-ba-ba-bum, pedal to the metal. Work harder, work faster, work longer hours. You know, 100% effort, that's not enough anymore. You got to give 110, you got to give 120. You got to work harder, you got to work faster, you got to work longer hours. Come on, run, 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 race, 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 rush, 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 full tilt boogie. I call that getting the goddess. You know what the goddess look like? The goddess look like this on a work day. I got to get some more business. I got to get over to this client over here. I got to get an appointment with this guy over here. I got to do a new proposal over there. I got to read this, write this, fix this, fax this, find this, send this, check my voicemail, email, your mail, my mail. Get over to this meeting. Send over here. Race over to there. Get a life. Most visible examples in sports. I mean, I remember when I was a sports psychologist in 1968, I saw an event that totally changed my thinking about competition, and it was a high jump. And the way everybody used to jump in the old days was called the Western roll. Remember that? You run, 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 like that. Well, it didn't look like that. And then all of a sudden I see this one guy, and he runs up, instead of going like that, he goes, woo, head first backwards. I thought, oh my God. What was his name? Right, Dick Fosbury. Anybody know anybody else's name in the competition? No, we forget. That same kind of thinking. What did he do? He challenged the rules. Same kind of thinking happened in professional football. Bill Walsh of the San Francisco 49ers was considered a genius. What did he do? He did the same thing as Fosbury. He challenged the old rules. He challenged the old thinking. The old thinking was, you got to start with a running game to create the pass. What did Walsh do? He flipped the rules. He started with a pass to create the run. And he passed the guys never caught passes before. Fullbacks, tight ends, pulling guards. You know, anybody that's, you know, your mother-in-law is out on the sideline, you chuck her one. So, I mean, anybody. What did he do? He challenged it. Same thing happened in tennis. Chrissy Everett came up. Everybody was hitting like that. What did she do? Right? Totally changed the game. Why did they win? They all did the same thing. They challenged the old thinking. They rethought the rules and, in effect, reinvented the game. Now, the same thing has happened in business, where small people became giants with the same kind of thinking. Sam Walton, for instance, changed retail. And the oldest rules in retail were always, you got to have a great location. You got to go to the big cities. You got to be right in the center of the town. You got to be where all the traffic is, in the center of the mall. You know the booming metropolis that Sam Walton opened up his first big warehouse discount store in? Bentonville, Arkansas. Give you an idea about Bentonville. See this group right over there? That's like a mob in Bentonville. You know what the major industry in Bentonville is? Jury duty. But Sam Walton had 10 rules of success, 9 of which you know, or you wouldn't be here, about quality and service. But you know, his 10th rule, which he said was his most important rule, you know what it was? It's what we're talking about. It was break the rules. He said if everyone in your industry is doing it one way and you do it the same way, you'll never get a win. All you're doing is head-to-head competition. The key to winning is the thinking that says, if everybody's doing it one way, do it exactly what? The opposite. And that's what he did. Michael Dell did the same thing in the computer industry. When he came in, he was a little college kid. Everybody was selling PCs, you know, mass market, you know, sell them all the same thing. What did he do? He changed mass to customized. And when everybody was worrying about inventory, building your inventory, managing your inventory, how much inventory does Michael Dell have? None. No inventory does Michael Dell have. And every industry in the country is going to him to find out about how he's doing that, how he gets that stuff out. You know, that's the key. That's the secret. I use those examples to teach a very simple technique that brings about dramatic results in opening your mind to new possibilities and opportunities. And basically what it is you look at your strategy that you have. You know, you look at a problem that you're having. And you don't just solve it at the level it exists. You take one element of it and you flip it around. That's what Sam Walton did. Everyone who's going to big cities, he went to small ones. Michael Dell, everybody's big inventory, he had no inventory. So you flip it around. Let me give you an example. I was working for the big hospital, and their problem was half our beds are empty. Half our beds are empty. Big hospital in Boston. So they're doing everything they can, if half your beds are empty, to do what? Fill the beds, right? Fill the beds. They were trying to do it. Co-marketing, partnering with different people, you know, anything to fill the beds, running over people in the streets. Anything you could to fill the beds. Nothing worked. So they brought me in. Whenever I do any consulting or thinking I always flip something around. Look at it from another angle. You know, get another view of it. So I said, are you in the bed business? And you know, hospitals today are now in the keep you out of bed business. So what we ended up doing, long story short, we ended up selling the beds. We opened up a wellness center, which is the opposite of sickness. We had a sports medicine clinic. We had a health club. We had a diet center. We had educational courses on fitness and wellness. We tripled the income from that space, even had we filled all the beds. So what do? I'm not saying, boy, am I a genius. I'm saying I just followed this technique that I use and you can. So take every angle of your game and flip it around. Look at it from another angle. Sacred cow hunts. And this is where you're rounding up your sacred cows and you're finding out which ones are outmoded and obsolete and aren't contributing and are holding you back and taking your time and preventing change and innovation. Now, I'll give you an example of how to do it. You have 3 people who are in the operation on the hunting team, and you have 3 who have nothing to do with it. Because a lot of times you get great value from people who don't know, who are beginners. So here's what happened. We're the big tire manufacturing company, the biggest tire manufacturing company in America. And we're doing this for every stop in their production line. The last stop in the production line was where they were wrapping the tires in foil. And it was an incredible machine. There's this big machine that goes in, boomba, 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 boom, and it comes out and it's got this wrapping on it, rolls out. Oh, it was great. It was fast, and the manager's really proud of it. He just initiated this whole thing, and it saved him 25%. Oh, it's really great. So it's just terrific. And then one of the kids on this hunting team looks at it and he said, he's got this question. What do you think he asked? Right. How come you